So it seems like in today's day and age, every woman has a narcissistic ex-boyfriend or a narcissistic ex-husband. And that's amazing because the most recent epidemiological data I could find suggests that between 1% to 2% of Americans have NPD, or narcissistic personality disorder. And that number includes female narcissists. So it's pretty hard to imagine that 2% of the men have dated like 100% of the women.
So today I want to give you a little bit of advice that I wish somebody would have been around about 7 years ago to give to me. And that advice is, if you think that you won't be her next story, you will. Now, generally speaking, as men, when we're single and looking out for a mate, we're going to meet one of two types of women. Either we're going to meet a woman who has a somewhat checkered past and doesn't take any accountability for the ending of those relationships and calls her exes narcissists, etc. Or we're going to meet the rarest of breeds, and they do exist, a woman that takes personal responsibility. My suggestion is, if you meet one of those and they're even remotely attractive, buy a ring. But I digress. Here's the thing. If you meet someone, if you meet a lady and she's got one story of a narcissistic ex, but she's had 3 relationships, tread lightly, but okay. If she's managed to have some successful relationships, maybe at that point you can step forward with caution. But if, like in my case, you meet someone with 6 previous relationships, and somehow they all ended chaotically, with the man willing to do anything, sign anything, or pay anything to get away from that particular woman, don't be stupid like me and think that you will be the one that is going to fix the situation. Don't think that just because you have high emotional intelligence that you can be smart enough for the two of you. And that's the advice I can give you. Now, as men, when we step back and we think about these things while we're single, it's easy to say, oh no, those are red flags. I won't deal with that. But then you meet someone, the chemistry is there, and you start to hem and haw, think, well, maybe this situation is different, right? We all want to see our new person as somewhat different, except many times they're not. Now, I remember walking around for years hearing the stories of how things went down in my ex's previous relationships and thinking, I won't be that man. I'm not going to become that man. I will not become the guy that's willing to do anything, pay anything, say anything to get out of the relationship. And whoopsies, guess what? I became that man. So here's the advice that I can give you. Now, I don't want to lay down specific numbers. Now, if somebody has more than 3 relationships and they've all ended chaotically with no personal responsibility, just run. Just cut it off right there. Okay? Every woman you meet these days is going to have some version of a narcissistic ex. But the problem is that for most modern women, narcissistic means manipulative and controlling, which for them means you didn't let them go out to dinner with their male friend, or you suggested that maybe their bad mood was because they were spending hours on conspiracy sites, and that maybe they should lay off the Facebook and social media so that maybe they, I don't know, touch some grass. Those are the things these days, guys, that are going to get you labeled as a narcissist. So tread lightly. Now, obviously, there are narcissistic people. There's men and women. So you don't want to take every situation and disbelieve it. But you're going to have to ask for details. And here's the thing that I can tell you. Don't be so concerned with the details of the stories that she tells you when you initially ask. Pay attention to if those details consistently change over time, especially if you're having issues within that relationship. If you choose to move forward and you're having issues within that relationship, and she suddenly has all these stories where you're just like this one, you're just like this one, this is exactly what happened with this one. Well, what's the common denominator? And it ain't you. You follow what I'm saying? Tread very lightly. Now, again, it's easy to sit here and pontificate and say, if this, just completely disregard that person as a possibility for a relationship. But we all know that's not how real life works. We meet someone, we want things to work out, we really like them, we want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and that's the tough part, right? If as a man, you want to meet somebody that you trust. Yes, trust is developed, but there's also a certain modicum of trust that you have to have with somebody up front. And the best thing that I can tell you in that regard is trust your gut. The immediate response that you have to anything that she's telling you when you first meet, trust your gut. Make sure that you're not projecting. Make sure that you're not taking previous trauma and applying it to what's happening now. But if you see the same exact red flags in a new one that existed in your previous relationship, it's likely that you're just attracting the same type of person again. And you might, at that point, just want to take a step back, take a break, reevaluate, go through what happened in your previous relationship, understand the parts that were your responsibility and that weren't, and then try to move forward and maybe meet somebody just completely out of your type, completely out of your comfort zone, just to give yourself a different experience of what relationship can be. Bottom line here, guys, is, and I cannot stress this enough, if you meet a woman and she has 6 stories, do not convince yourself, do not delude yourself into believing that you will not become story 7, because I promise you, you will.